around all through your 20s. Stop around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s and nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No, no, no. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. And guess what? When you hit those 40s, don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines.
You lose.
So the first section of women we're going to talk about is women ages 18 to 23. Now, women ages 18 to 23, they're going to be the most physically desirable. They're going to have most men try to get with them, and this is going to lead them to thinking that they've mastered the dating game. When little do they know, all these men want to do, because this is their peak of their beauty, they're 18 to 23, this is the peak of their fertility, all these men want to do is just sleep with them, and that's it. They don't want anything outside of that. But they fail to realize this, and they think they've mastered the game, which therefore then leads them to being stubborn. So then it becomes hard to give them dating advice. So they don't want to listen, even though they're in the peak and in the prime years, to really get something popping off with a good man, with a man that's actually thinking of a long-term future with this woman. But they don't want to listen. They see all these men around them. They think they've mastered the dating game. This is like the peak time period where they run through all the bad boys, all the Chads, all the Tyrones, and their desirability is just a physical, superficial attraction. It's not really true attraction. It's all surface level based on their looks at the time. Next up on the list, we have the second category, the second section, which is ages 24 to 30. And these women are just exiting the most desirable phase, which is obviously the 18 to 23, section 1 phase. And they're beginning to see signs of aging at this phase. So they can't eat, they can't drink, they can't smoke, they can't party like they used to. They're a little more self-conscious. And for the first time in their lives, women in this category, in this section, they begin to get a dose of reality. And because they're getting this dose of reality, they have to become a little bit more self-conscious and make mental changes, because they understand they're getting older. So they'll have to adjust their dating strategies, because they're still competing with the up and coming section 1s that are turning 24 to 30. So the competition gets a little bit more difficult now. Next up on the list, we have section 3, which is women ages 31 to 40 years old. And usually these women have gotten out of long-term relationships. They were probably in a long-term relationship in section 1 or section 2, and they're just now getting out of it. It probably didn't end well. You know, they probably have some sort of resentment. It wasn't a good breakup. It's very emotional for them, because they most likely were married or in a very, very serious long-term relationship.
Women in their 20s are the most complicated creatures on God's green earth. They are absolutely impossible to figure out. You see, when a chick is in her 20s, she's looking for one thing, and that one thing is entertainment. Also known as an emotional roller coaster ride. Most women in their 20s aren't looking for, worried about health insurance policies or 401ks or anything financial like that.
Nope.
They're thinking about how much Instagram followers they have, or how much likes their bikini picture got. All this is entertainment to them, and they love to be in that spotlight. Because when a chick is in her 20s, dad's flipping the financial bill for her, most likely. If she's short on rent money or car money, daddy's gonna give it to her, just as long as, she stays in college, right?
Stop the cap.
So they're also looking for relationships that will offer them the most entertainment as well. When its 20-something-year-old chick looks at a guy, they aren't thinking about life 30 years from now.
Nope.
They're thinking about life 30 Instagram followers from now.
Yep.
You see, her social media pages wouldn't be blowing up if this dude was her boyfriend. This dude screams out boring. She'd lose like 100 followers overnight if she posted pictures with this guy, right? But Mr. Badass fresh out of prison, right? If this was her boyfriend, this would get heads rolling. Her social media notifications would be off the hook.
Yep.
This dude would take her on one hell of an emotional roller coaster ride. He would make her cry like every night. But that's okay because the makeup sex is coming. This dude screams out entertainment. There would never be a dull moment with this guy. Women in their 20s believe that they are invincible. And the funny thing is, it's true. They are invincible. They could get whatever they want from any guy at any time just because they're hot. They could literally have a kid with the biggest up on the planet, like fresh out of prison, and they know some sap would be right there to bail them out, somewhere down the road in life.
You
see,
lose.
women in their 20s want entertainment and good sex. They don't want to have to worry about bills and financial until they're like 30-something, right? And when they hit their 30s, they can find some fat and bald guy to take care of them and take care of all that. And when their sexual market value is gone and their Instagram followers have disappeared, her life's entertainment becomes things like Netflix, soap operas, game shows, and what else? Getting old, getting fat, eating all day, watching TV, sitting around the house doing nothing, not having sex. I don't know.
Finish her.
You lose.